Let's refresh your memory about Lateef Idris, the Joy News journalist who's been left with a cracked skull after beatings by officers of the Ghana Police in front of the CID headquarters when Deputy NDC General Secretary Koko Anyidoho was arrested.
So I got to the CID headquarters at around 6:50 p.m. and I was getting ready to do live on Joy News Prime with him, this camera technician, Joel. So I called him and he told me he was on the second floor of the CID main building. So I walked inside. Then I called him again. He told me he'd come out. So I had to join him outside. I got outside and I called him again. Then I saw him standing about some few yards away from me. So I was going there, then I said, no, let me just do some inquiries. And then, so I approached one officer who was standing in front of one of the crowd control vehicles.
That was inside the compound?
Outside.
Outside.
In front of the main gate. I asked him if they have any special name for the crowd control vehicle. Then, in a very rude manner, he said in a can that I should get off. Free me so nkwasiasem anaju na wabe bisa me ka in a can. I got embarrassed, so I turned and I was walking away and I said, "Oh Charlie." "Oh Charlie," the "Oh Charlie" I said was my offense. He held my shirt, pulled me back and slapped me in the face. He came and held me again. "Who are you? I'm talking to you," and are telling me, "Oh Charlie." And then pushed me to a crowd of police officers who had gathered in front of them.
How many of these police officers?
There were a lot of them. There were lots.
Can you put a number to them?
For those gathered in front of the headquarters, there were more than 20. So he pushed me into them. They didn't know what was going on between the two of us. But I don't know, they all started beating me, slapping me here and there. So I shouted and called him, "Joel." Joel, he came and I asked him to start filming. He raised his camera and he started doing something. Some of them also pounced on him and pulled him away. Then they pushed me into the main compound and it was nasty. They were just joining in numbers. Whoever comes, slaps, hits me, kick me with the foot.
Were they questioning you? What?
I kept telling the one who was leading this whole thing that, can you ask the guy who started this whole thing what I've done to him, what crime I've committed? They wouldn't.
Lateef, in all this, did they know who you were? Did they know you were a journalist?
I had explained to the first guy that I'm getting ready to go live on Joy News Prime. I had my live equipment with me. They hit me with the back of the gun about 3 times at the back of my head here. They hit me with sticks in my rib. What
kind of sticks? Is it a baton they were holding? Or?
This one is just ordinary stick. One of them he was just hitting it here. Those who were hitting me with their legs were doing it. Those who were slapping me from left, right, center.
You can't tell how many these police officers were?
There were about 10 of them. And one of them came around and said, "I know this guy. He's been working with Kofi."
Who is Kofi?
I don't know the Kofi he was talking about. Then one of them said, "Yes, we know him."
One was able to identify you as a journalist.
One. Then one of them, who was one among those who were beating me, then said, "Yes, we know him." So they knew that I'm a journalist.
Days later, Director General of Police Public Affairs, ACP David Eklu, and Director of Operations, Simon Afiku, visited the Multimedia Group, assuring investigations were ongoing.
Whether those have been identified.
We know that when the incident happened, there are some cameras there.
CCTV.
Are they functioning? Are they cameras that we can rely on?
We deployed even our camera from Public Affairs, and we have some visuals. But at the time that the incident happened, I'm not too sure whether they captured it. But the case is still under investigation, and a lot of some of these questions I know have been sought for by the investigators. So let us wait and have a little patience till we get to the bottom of this issue.
Since you are investigating yourself in this matter,
this is not the first time we have investigated cases. Police officers are facing prosecution for a lot of criminal cases. And I don't think that it will be in our interest to push this case under the carpet. We have had the best of relations with the media. Media have given us a lot of support in our operations, and we would not want this case to tarnish that good relations that we have. So we are all interested in finding out what happened, because he was not the only journalist who covered the event. There were others who covered it even live, and nothing happened. So this one, we still want to find out what went wrong.
Circumstances are right, and it's unfortunate that somebody should die or somebody should get injured out of any situation. That's what we should all avoid. We have continued to impress upon the public, various stakeholders, to support us in doing our work. We cannot do without stakeholders like you. You are very strategic partners in the performance of our duties. That is providing security or maintaining law and order. No, we cannot go without you. Neither is the general public. So we have continued to ask for that support, particularly the support where we will all be very lawful. Those of us enforcing the law, those of you on whom maybe the law is being enforced, that we should all be lawful in whatever activities or whatever steps that we take. In that case, we can meet at the common point, which we call peace, or a secured environment for all of us to continue carrying out our lawful activities. That assurance is there, that at the end of whatever work or findings that we will come out with, the police administration will not renege. If anybody is found culpable of performing unprofessionally or criminally, no, be dealt with accordingly. So that assurance must be there. For any action or inaction, we look at it from two directions, either the criminal sanction or criminal investigation, and then we have the administrative investigation, which is being done by PIPS, to find out if maybe somebody was negligent, was unprofessional, etc. So that is why PIPS is also carrying out the Cantonment's police station. They are looking at the criminal dimension, and then the PIPS is looking at the administrative dimension. So once we are the police administration, we are for all.
Are you giving yourselves any timelines?
As soon as practicable, that is what we can say.
We are all interested in getting this matter resolved, to know what happened as quickly as possible.
Today on the Super Morning Show, some people called in with harrowing narrations of police brutalities.
2 weeks ago, I just came out from a meeting at about 11:30. So when I walked to my car, this car just appeared all of a sudden with a highlight on my face. Momentarily, I was blinded, so I covered my face and threw the other hand in the air in protest. When the car got closer, I realized it was the police. So I heaped a sense of relief, because given the work I do, I'm always with them. So I asked a very harmless question: Chairman, what did you blind me like that? And the response, like, I'm a stupid man. Is the road my father's house? Oh, then I said, matter, what have I warranted to get insults from you? Is it because you're in the uniform? You think you can just insult anybody? Now, who am I? What can I do? Got down from the car. Before I could say a word, this gentleman punched my face. So in the melee, the other three got down, cocked their guns with an handcuff to arrest me. So I resisted, because they didn't even have the name badge on their uniforms. So my uncle's head that way because we're having a family meeting. And there were 3 former MPs. One was a deputy minister, the other a minister of state. So they came out and said, what kind of madness are you people doing? What has Emmanuel done and you are treating him like that? And they didn't spare them. They insulted them, told them they were obstructing their work. And they asked them, what is the offense of Emmanuel? Therefore, insulting a public officer. So the former MPs identified themselves as such and said that, look, given that the crowd is gathering, you go, we'll bring Emmanuel to the police station. They said no. And the long and short of it is that they gave me proper beating, to the extent that one of them even used the butt of the gun to hit my ribs. So the next day, no, they said they were taking me to the Takumono police station for my uncles to reach there, and they have diverted me to the 18th police station. So it was at the 18th I called ACP Eklu, the Director General of the Public Relations of the service. Then he ordered for my release, and a medical form was issued to me to go to hospital.
My experience is just that there's somewhere December on the Carnation roundabout towards Carnation, you know, in the evening, these police people set up a barrier there or a stop point there to check and all that. So then I was in a taxi with friends, and we go there, and one of them stopped us. And we're just in the car, waiting. Nobody was coming to us. So I was like, oh, we are still waiting. So who is coming to attend to us? And then one of the guys with gun was like, who am I to ask who is coming to attend to us? If they have stopped us, we should be there. I said, then what is even the offense why you stopped us? And these guys just got angry just for this thing. He got angry, started, actually pulled me out of the taxi. I was just manhandling me. I was like, no, I'm not good. And before I realized, the army guys who also joined them at night patrol all came in. They didn't even ask what the situation was. They also started holding my hands, throwing me backwards, had to put me on the floor. And my friends were just telling them, they didn't even know what was going on. So why are they handling me like this? They would not just listen to anybody. Eventually, what I saw was I was flat on the ground. They held my hands back, put the handcuffs on me, and I was sitting there at night. Mosquitoes were biting me. I was like, what is going on? Nobody would just mind me. Eventually, they had to take me to the Carnation police station. So they took me to counter back, and I sat there. And one of them at the counter asked them, Charlie, what happened? They couldn't say anything. They just went outside for 2-3 minutes. They came back, and the one at the counter back, the counter just asked me, what happened? And I said, boss, this is what I said, and this is what has brought me here. I don't know what I have done to these people. I just asked, why are we here? Who is attending to us? And that was my offense. So
and they did not explain to you. They did not explain. They did not explain to you what you were being held for, or anything like that.
Nothing. I just asked. We are still waiting here. Who is coming to attend to us? And that was my offense.
In an attempt to get justice for Lateef Idris, who was brutalized by the police officers, Joy News will in the coming days put out a series of messages condemning the act by the police with calls for the arrest of perpetrators. Joy News editor Araba Kumsin is asking the police to expedite action to see Lateef's offenders found and made to face the law.
Lateef's condition has all of us here at Multimedia very worried. As you know from the doctor's report, Lateef sustained fractures to his skull when he was brutalized by the police. Now, given the extent or the severity of his injuries, one would have expected the police to have expedited the investigation process and brought the perpetrators to book. We're not seeing this, and we're saying that the police must do this necessarily to get Lateef the justice that he deserves. Otherwise, if that is not done, it gives the impression that the police is shielding its own. We've been given assurances over and over by the police that they are investigating. However, we're not seeing much. And so our plea to the police is that they expedite the investigation process and get Lateef the justice he deserves.
Joy News editor Abakumsin there. You can join our campaign by using the hashtag Justice for Lateef. Hopefully we'll see him here whole and ready to work and bring you the compelling stories as he always does.